bing, 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 bing. Wow. Today's theme is on feelings and self-connection, landing in the body, grounding into this here and now. The theme of today's video is me sharing my insights around the power of feeling in versus constantly trying to look out or looking out and being severely distracted and disconnected from oneself. Why I want to speak on this theme today is because it's close to my heart. I'm someone that for a long time, for as long as I can remember, I was someone that avoided feeling, was terrified of that which existed inside of me. I was terrified of the energies that were coming up for me because I did not know. I didn't know that I was capable. I didn't know who I was, actually. I didn't know that I actually am the love that has the ability to hold space for everything here in this human realm. I had no idea that that was who I was and that I was capable of that. Yet, as I have been diving deep and going in, kind of exploring my shadows and my darkness, and letting go of the story of right and wrong, good and bad, more holy or less holy, as I have just been sitting with it. I've not been in my judgment of anything. I've not had stories that something is shameful or bad. I've simply allowed and started welcoming everything and being curious versus judgmental. And the thing about it is that it reveals the love of God. And it shows me that the love of God is always here. And it's always been here. And it's more true to who I am. It's more true that I am this love than it is true that I am this physical body that is changing constantly and that will not last forever. This is an impermanent expression. Yes, for a short while, it seems as though I am also this, and I choose to deeply honor that I am this body, this character, this Amanda, a woman. Apparently my ethnicity is Swedish. I choose to honor the energies and the stories and the narratives that this character has seemingly taken on. Stories of its past, of its childhood, of its parents, all these things, right? I am human. I am human. I am human, and I'm also not at all. Yet while I seem to be aware of this body, I choose to give full unconditional love to it versus shame it, judge it, or say that it is less spiritual to be fully in this experience of being a human. It is not. We are not meant. I am realizing I am not meant to try to transcend or get away from this experience, because I'm already away from it, because I'm already not this. This is already not who I am. But the cool feeling is actually descending down into the body as I know that I am not the body. I know that might sound, maybe that sounds confusing for some people to say that. What I mean is, I'm here to live. I'm here to be a human being that has feelings, that has emotions, that makes mistakes, that is sometimes scared and afraid and insecure and shy, or that sometimes comes and, meets up against my edges. And I'm here to be a human that has the courage to acknowledge what is here and what is alive right now. I'm here to be a human that has the courage and the bravery to sit with the discomfort, sit with certain ugly aspects of self, or shameful or inappropriate or certain limiting beliefs. I'm here to be a human that has the courage and the bravery to actually simply sit with that and acknowledge that it is there and not feel that it is wrong. It is not wrong. To make anything wrong, that's when it becomes a problem. That's the problematic thing. It's making something wrong. That's what actually keeps it stored in my body, in my psyche, as something that can't be welcomed, as something that can't exist. And that is what creates tension, a sense of unease, because I'm not having peace with all aspects of self and energy. And the answer that I have come to see is to make peace. It's to stop this war. It's to end the war within through letting go of right and wrong, good and bad, less holy, more spiritually advanced, less spiritually advanced. All of these are spiritual ego judgments, and I'm not here for it. There's been a lot of matrix, like a matrix of spiritual community, this community, new age, all this, and shaming of the human mess. And guys, the way to true divinity, true feeling and meeting with God is through the human mess. It's through the ugliness. But it is not through judging the ugliness and through shaming and fearing and making wrong the ugliness or the pain. It's not that. That's not the way. When we do that, when we judge it, it actually holds it in place. It holds it in place and it keeps it there, and it'll keep replaying itself until there is a remembering that, oh yes, I am that love that has the capacity and the space to be present and love this too. And just because we love something does not mean that we are enabling it or making it or wanting it to continue. Actually, what loving something does is it gives it space, and it can actually dissolve things. What I have come to see is that love is a dissolvant of anything that is feeling misaligned or off. Love and presence, love and attuned presence is a dissolvent for anything that feels misaligned within. So the theme today is around feeling and how fully feeling is the way. Fully feeling. Not just feeling a little and not just choosing to feel the bliss and the love and the ecstasy and the confidence and the power, but feeling all of it. Because the truth is that all of it actually leads to the same thing when we are having the courage to fully feel versus just be very picky around what feelings we welcome, what feelings we accept. To fully feel is alchemy. To fully feel is being someone that can turn shit into fertile soil. To fully feel is to be opening the door to God's love and nourishment in every moment of our lives. It's to choosing to actually love ourselves enough to put our hand on that doorknob and open that door into the depth of the ocean of God's love in every moment as we allow ourselves to fully feel. And, you know, the practice is to remember that nothing is a problem. Nothing needs to go away. And this is, in some ways, it's shadow work 101. You know, because the reason why it's called shadow work is because in society, in our families, there were some emotions that were more acceptable than others. Certain feelings and expressions were more celebrated than others. And the ones that were not celebrated, the ones that did not make our parents happy or some adult figures around us happy, those feelings and those emotions and those expressions, they went into the shadow. We pushed them away because we felt there's a sense that perhaps I'm not safe to express these and I need to survive and I'm young and I'm little, so I need to conform, and in order to conform so that I'm safe, I'm going to push these ones aside because what I learned through my surroundings was that, oh, okay, yeah, this expression is not apparently good, and if I do this, then I'm considered bad. So it all starts in the family and in the society. That's how we start to, you know, get into the shadow. And everything that is not deemed safe to exist in society, in our family structure, goes into the shadow. It is still there. It is still alive and existing in us. It is still, in subtle ways, controlling us, subtly controlling how we move and choose to act and behave in the world. It is the subconscious, and, you know, the subconscious is actually the ruler of what we're doing in our lives. Some people wonder, why do I always have relationship problems? Why do I seem to always end up with the same guy that treats me like shit? Or why do I never have enough money? Like, why can't I ever make ends meet? And oftentimes it is a limiting belief or an identity with an image, with a self-image, or an identity or in a story that you have labeled and actually think is a part of who you are, that is keeping you from all of these things that you say you kind of want, but you keep again and again falling back into something else. It's because of the limiting beliefs about who you are that are hiding in the subconscious and in the shadows. And the unwillingness to look at the shadows and to go into the subconscious and to go to the deep end will simply just keep us at the same place. And it'll all just be surface level. It won't be rich and deep. If we want rich and deep, we got to go down. We got to go down and in and through. And sometimes it's very scary to do that. It can be very uncomfortable. But the question is, what is uncomfortable? What is uncomfortable? Is that you? truly you? Or is it an operating system? Is it the conditioning and the program that you've lived from that is getting uncomfortable? Basically, some would say ego. Is ego getting uncomfortable? And this operating system of this self-image, this sense of self that isn't actually you, but that maybe we've fed, maybe there's been a feeding and playing into this image of who we think we are. And if that changes, it could feel uncomfortable because it's facing the unknown. It's like, well, who the fuck am I without this limiting belief? Who the fuck would I be if I didn't have that story of my trauma and my pain and all that? Like, who would I be? And then I'm feeling scared because I want to have something to hold on to as myself. I want to feel a sense of self. There's a sense of fake safety in holding on to self-images. And some people would rather stay in their miserable self-image that isn't even who they are, simply because it feels more safe and it's more familiar. But really, what it's requiring, what we are all being required to do here, is to die. Not to actually fucking die, but to let all the images of who we thought we were die and dissolve and fucking crumble. And to be willing to have the courage to stand in a place of, oh wow, I don't know who I am. I thought I was this, and now I see I'm not. And now there's just this infinite space, and I don't even know who I am. I guess I'll get to know myself by simply allowing this infinite space and energy to move me and express through me. And maybe, just maybe, I'm always fresh and new in every moment, so I can't even be labeled, or there can't even be a story or a narrative about me, because in every moment there is only now, and it's all fresh and new. In the moment that something is happening, it is also passing away. So to be identifying with our experiences and with all these things that are no longer here is actually, in a way, somewhat insane. And obviously it's a very human thing to do, so I'm not trying to shame it. I'm just saying that we really are, in a way, the void, the unknown, the darkness, and we are also bright Christ light, and those two energies are kind of mixed together in one big soup of unfiltered free expression that can happen. However, if we're living from the conditioned self, the limiting self-beliefs, or just the beliefs in general about who and what we are, and if we're limiting ourselves to a name and a form, and our job and our ethnicity and our sex and our look, our appearance, our hair, our body tone, our skin tone, our butt, whatever the fuck we're identifying with, if we're doing that, it can at times feel a little bit restricted. And contracting. And the reason why is because it's not like being identified with what's true, actually, about our essence and true self. It's not really being identified and grounded, rooted, landed in what's true and what's real. So that's where it's coming back to feeling fully, truly feeling fully. There's a lot of beautiful popular words these days. You gotta feel it to heal it. Feel fully feel. Those words are easy to say and they're easy to speak, but to actually live and walk that talk of fully feeling is a pretty transformational experience. And what it will do, what it will lead to, is to you discovering and seeing that the love that you've ever, that you've looked for or searched for or wanted or longed for is here, and it's always been here. And it is all around you. It is inside you. It is coming from the core of you. Also, some people, especially people who've had near-death experience, would describe it as the bright Christ light, golden, warm, glowing light coming. It's all around you, and it's from within you. And this bright light, Christ light, gets revealed, and it actually shines upon anything we're willing to fully be with and sit with. If I'm willing to fully be with and sit with the ugliest parts of myself and my psyche, if I'm willing to sit with it without taking it overly personal either, just not taking it seriously, not being afraid of it, not fucking shaming it, saying this is not spiritual, so I need to push it down, or I need to cover it up with some sort of quote or slogan of love and light and everything is beautiful. It's like, if something is real and alive inside of me in the moment that might be sort of ugly or messy or whatever, contracted even, to sit with that, to embrace that too, and to find where in the body am I feeling that sensation the most. Like in the moment, if we're feeling, let's say that the feeling is angry or scared or insecure, where in this body can I feel, where is there a sensation that's connected to this feeling? And to go to that sensation and to sit with that. Even place a hand on the place in the body where you feel that feeling the most. And then breathing with it. And if it's hard and sharp and painful sensation or very uncomfortable, that's okay. Bring a soft, slow breath to this sensation that is maybe tight, hard, contracted, or throbbing, or shaking. It doesn't matter what it is you're feeling and what the sensation is like. It doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is your willingness and ability and your choice to take a deep breath and to be there with it. Without wanting it to change, without wishing it was different, and without that feeling that you want it to go away. And breathing slow and deep with it. And telling it that I'm here, I love you, and I let you go, and I also welcome you to stay here as long as you need. Giving that message to the feeling, to the sensation. And really, truly, actually staying as long as you need, knowing that there's no goal here except to be and to love. To breathe, to feel, and to love, and to give presence to that which is here now. That is the only goal. That is the only thing we're doing. We're not trying to have anything change. If it stays seemingly painful the whole time, for a long time, continue letting that be there. There is wisdom in it. There is wisdom in it. And if we have any sort of expectations or energy of, oh, change now for me, it will most likely prolong it. And it's much better to fully feel it all the way through. And what happens, how I know that I fully felt it all the way through, is that it will actually start to feel like so much love. And it will only reveal the power and the love of God. All of a sudden, you'll be sitting in that which people travel far places to get to, which is what some people would say is enlightenment. A remembrance of who you are, a feeling of actually seeing through all of this seeming reality that is made very real and very important by so many, and we get to see through it. So that means this eliminates the fear of death, because you see that you are not this anyways. And yes, temporarily we get to be here and we get to show up as our best selves. And, you know, there is such a thing as like healthy ego as well, obviously. A more happy, joyous, balanced, integrated, empowered ego is awesome. And one of the reasons why I choose to do this is because it will cultivate a more peaceful, harmonious ego that is less insecure, less afraid, less scared, because it's not actually insecure about its own insecurities. It's not scared of its own fear. It's not angry about its anger. It's actually, there's complete, total love and acceptance for it, and a willingness to open to sitting in God's love with every aspect of humanity, every flavor of feeling, that willingness to sit with every tone and nuance and flavor, that only ever reveals the depth and the infinite true nature of who we are. And the simple way to practice is to place a hand on the part of the body where we feel the feeling most. It could be insecurity, anger, whatever. And to breathe with it, to sit with it and welcome it. And sometimes it actually really helps as well to do movements. How would anger move right now? How would anger sound? How would insecurity sound? Or how would insecurity look like physically? You know, if it was insecurity, maybe it would look like, you know, kind of like, I don't know, a little crumbling up. Or what would it sound like? I don't know what insecurity would sound like. Maybe like, something like that for insecurity. And then obviously anger is a completely other expression. It would probably look like, and what would it sound like? But, you know, doesn't even have to be big. Doesn't even have to be explosive. It can simply just be a sitting. A sitting with that intense energy. If it's anger, for example. Sit and breathe with it. Maybe there's a little bit of a quicker breathing when one is feeling anger, especially if it's all explosive and stuff like that, you know? But yeah, the practice is really to feel fully. And it's not something we do to get an outcome. We do it to simply love and be present to what's here. That's the key here. We're not doing it because, oh, so that I can feel the love of God. No, that's not the way. That's not the way, because the feelings and energy feels why we're doing something. It can feel if the love and the presence is actually genuine, or if it's only an energy that's trying to get somewhere else. There's a felt sense of the difference, a big felt sense difference. So feeling. What is another thing that feeling can do? Allowing ourselves to fully feel and connect to our feelings. What is a benefit? A benefit that I've experienced is feeling of intimacy. Intimacy with myself. A feeling of more connection to myself, and a feeling of being more here and grounded in the human. Yet also while deeply remembering the non-human energy that is me, and remembering that I am eternal life, while also deeply honoring and being fully here in the human experience and enjoying it. And it becomes a lot lighter, but it also becomes a lot more juicy and pleasurable and fun and ecstatic and from this place of being more connected and intimate with all of my feelings, including the dark, messy, twisted ones that are considered that by society and by conditioning and programming, obviously, because none of them actually are. They're just all neutral. But when I am connected to all of it, I'm more bold, I'm more courageous, I'm more willing to take a stand for my desires, for what I want, for creating a world that I stand for and that I believe in and that I would like to see more of. There is a sense of more courage and empowerment to take great action here, aligned, inspired action from a place of a really integrated. It feels easier, much easier to take action when there has been integration of all these feelings and aspects of self. Because if we're not integrating them, then they control us. What we don't own ends up owning us. So if there's a lot of fear or insecurity or anger, that fear, insecurity, and anger will end up controlling how we move, how we relate, what decisions we make in our lives. And it's often not a very fulfilling, rich, exciting life. And it can feel kind of like stagnant and like a prison to live from those energies of fear, insecurity, or anger. And it's not that those energies are bad. It's not that fear is bad, anger is bad, insecurity. It's just a matter of, are we integrating them and harnessing them and alchemizing them through the meeting with presence and love? Are we doing that, or are we just judging, pushing them away, and then keeping them unintegrated? We want to integrate them by bringing them into this love of the moment, into now. This is where all the nourishment lies. Everything you've ever desired and longed for is in this now. And it's a choice. It's a choice that I make. And the more I integrate my darkness, my shadows, and through feeling and being with and sitting with, the more empowered I am to live a life of my wildest dreams, actually. Make bold requests, speak no clearly, act and move from my center and from my core, from a full, whole self versus from a half-ass self that's been self-abandoning and self-rejecting and being self-violent. It's a form of violence, actually, to bury what we feel. That's a form of great violence to ourselves. Or to push it down, or to stuff it down with food, or by looking at the phone all the time. There might be some deep, 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 exciting, desires that we have, but because we're scared of them, and because we're unwilling to feel the fear and integrate it and harness it for power, actually, there can be a lot of falling into addictions and to certain ways of coping mechanisms, all just to avoid fully feeling the fear and all of it. So it truly comes down to presence. And what is presence? Presence is curious. Presence is willing to take deep, slow breaths into what is here now. Presence is curious about what is underneath the stories. Presence is curious about what's underneath the judgments and the stories. It is curious to really sit with and be with what's at the root, and to not necessarily change it, but to simply be with it, acknowledge it, and take breath with it, and shine the light of our awareness onto it. That's what presence is. Presence is not turning away. Presence is right here, looking deeper, even if it's uncomfortable. Presence slows the fuck down. Presence really slows down. To feel what's really going on and what's really being asked for. And if we're really in the present moment, we'll feel a lot of love and a lot of peace. Even if there is the sense of the opposite of peace, even if there's the sense of stress or anger or rage or fear, if we're truly present with anger, rage, or fear, there is also a sense of deep peace and even love within pain. Love can exist, is present always. Love is always present, and pain can be an experience we're in while we are in love. And it's all about opening to it, cracking open. Because what it cracks us open to is life force energy, and this is better than any caffeine drink you've ever had. At least in my experience. This is me speaking about myself. Because, you know, there's a lot of fighting and a lot of work that I'm doing, when I'm trying to fight my own feelings, fight and suppress what I feel. That's not what it's about. We're not here to fight and suppress what we feel. That takes a lot of energy. What actually gives a shit ton of energy is to feel the places and the spaces within our psyche and our being that we've been avoiding feeling, that we've been protecting ourselves from feeling, that we've been trying to control the whole world around us to not feel. Those are actually the things that are going to give us infinite amount of energy to live our purpose, to live our dream, to do exactly what we want to fucking do, and to create a lot of beauty and abundance and exactly the life that we want to live. It is through feeling. It's not through avoiding and protecting ourselves from feeling. That is the truth. I'm going to pause here for a moment and let the silent space see if there's anything else that wants to come through right now. Landing in this body, fully landing, letting our soul land. We need to create space inside for the soul to have a home here in this body. And the way to create space is to end the war within, to end the violence. And you do that by not making anything that is arising an enemy. It's by welcoming it all, kind of like there's some sort of quote, I forget if it's Rumi or who it is, but something around, it's about a guest house. We are a guest house for all these visitors, whether it's grief, sorrow, sadness, anger, joy, despair. It's a guest house, and welcome every guest equally. Bring it tea, sit down and have tea with it. And what this does is it creates a lot of space inside of the body for the potency of our soul, of Holy Spirit, really. Holy Spirit, soul, kind of same in a way for me, but to drop in, to come into the form, and to move us and live through us, and let our physical form be an offering for Holy Spirit's energy to express through. We want to offer up. We want to open and clear this vessel enough to the point where the soul and where that which is eternal can come in and live through us and speak through us and see brothers and sisters from that place of, I know who you are and I love you. And that's what I see in you, the greatness, the goodness, the beauty of who you truly are. And the way to truly invite in Holy Spirit, Christ light into our being is to clear any energies of conflict, of self-violence, of self-abandonment inside of us, of fighting within. It's to clear that and to make peace with all of it by knowing that you are the space of love that can hold every feeling, and the only way to be set free is to go in and through. It's to go within and feel and face everything that you protected yourself from feeling and facing, and everything that you've been judging and judged as wrong or bad, or I shouldn't feel this way. If you're feeling it, you're meant to feel it and open to it and let it crack you fucking open to show you who you are. It's all a blessing. If there's something in your experience, it is for you. It's for your great awakening and waking up from this dream of Maya, of illusion, of suffering and misery, and seeing that you've never once actually been the one that suffers even. That was just a big mistake and error to think that we were that one that suffers. And then there can be a smiling and there can be compassion for actual seeming suffering again. Because we see it's not actually really that, relevant to who we are, but it is unfolding and it is playing out. And then we get to really have so much compassion, and that's really the answer. There's so much talk about love is the answer, love is the way, compassion and all this shit, but do we really practice fucking what we preach, man? You gotta fucking practice it. You gotta do it to yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for all the F words. Sorry about that. I think the theme of feeling gets me passionate, so I say the F word because apparently the F word is a passionate word for me. But I also don't want to say it too much because I don't want to... Not everybody resonates with that word, you know what I'm saying? So we have the Christ light. But to feel also, to be supported in feeling and opening, it's also really great to bring the energy from the core, the center of the earth. To breathe that energy up into us as we're feeling a lot, and to let the energy of the earthly mother support us as well, so that we have the energy of the Christ light, Heavenly Father, and the energy of the deep, dark, earthly mother. For both of those energies to be merging and dancing within our being. This is incredibly supportive, and to do practices where we are giving conscious attention to our beautiful Mother Earth, tuning into her and her support for us, and then breathing up from Mother Earth into the physical body. And then on the exhale, actually exhaling up into Father Sky. Breathing up and feeling the energy go from Mother Earth, and then exhale, feel that energy go up into Father Sky through your crown going up. And then on the inhale, again, when it's up here, inhale, feel the energy go down through your crown. And bring it all the way here, and then exhaling the fatherly love down into the earth again. And then moving back and forth like that, and you are becoming this channel, this vessel for the fatherly, divine, heavenly, and the earthly, motherly, the void and the everything, the light and the dark, merging within you and recognizing the sameness of the two, and also the sort of different qualities, yet how they're both equally important, and they're actually here for integration and for deep balance and peace, and for deep nurturing and support for our path to fully feel and be empowered and grounded and connected to all that is. And the earthly mother represents the void, the nothing, the darkness, the shadow, that which we cannot see. And it is such a beautiful symbol of that which we cannot see, that which is in the shadows, is beautiful, potent soil and minerals and rich with power. So if we try to avoid that and think, no, we just got to transcend and go to the light realms, we're actually missing out on a big fucking part of our power and our wholeness, the experience of being a fully integrated, empowered human. So we got to do both, not one or the other, not one, not the other, both, always both. This is the way, and it's not difficult, it's not hard. It takes a decision, it takes making a choice and being committed to waking up, to empowering yourself and to taking responsibility of your life, of our lives. There's no one else to blame for where we are right now. It is stepping out of victimhood 100,000% and recognizing that it was all, in a way, our fault. And when, I know that might sound really difficult and hard, and it's okay. When I say our fault, I don't mean that we're supposed to be guilty about that. But when we say that, it means if it was our fault, that means we have the power to make the change and we're no longer putting the power outside of ourselves, that it was someone else's fault. No, we are empowered. We now get to make a new choice from this place on how we want to live, how we want to be, how we want to walk, how we want to breathe, how we want to fucking feel about our feelings. Do we want to judge the shit out of them? Push them down, suppress, try to run away? Project them out onto others, actually? That's a lot of things that can happen. That's a lot of things that I do sometimes, that I've done in the past. In the past, I've projected the feelings that I have. If it's uncomfortable feeling, there's been a projecting of it onto my partner. And that's not fair. That's not fair. If there's anger present in me, I need to own that anger. I need to harness that anger by being with it, opening to it, facing it, meeting it, feeling that power of that energy versus feeling shameful about it or just projecting it out onto someone else. Because if I project it out onto someone else, I'm actually giving my power to that person, and I'm keeping my power sort of outside of myself. Really, anger is a powerful energy to be energized, to be uplifted, to get clarity on what we're here for, what I'm truly here for. That is what anger is all about. So cheers to anger, harnessing it, integrating it, turning its destructive nature into empowering, clarifying energy that will support every being to take aligned, soul-aligned, courageous, bold action and really speak up their truth, what they stand for, what they live for, why they're fucking here. Yummy. Yum. Smoothie time. You take a moment to feel if there's anything else that wants to be spoken and shared around this theme of feeling, or perhaps I could go into a feeling practice right now with you guys. Yeah, let's do that. Let me show you what I mean by this feeling practice. It's basically just dropping into the moment with yourself and speaking, checking in with yourself, like a check-in. What am I feeling now? Or I'll show you exactly what it looks like. I feel a little bit angry right now because I have some pain in this arm, some uncomfortable sensations, and I don't want to feel it. And then we're going to just I'm going to keep saying what I feel. And the feelings that I'm moving through is anger, fear, sadness, and joy. Only those 4 feelings right now. Anger, fear, sadness, and joy. I notice I feel a little bit of sadness because I could be a little bit harsh on myself when my body is feeling a little achy or pain. I feel sadness around the unwillingness to just, be with it. I feel sadness that I can be so reactive at times. I feel great joy because I am alive and I am here and I have a body and I have muscles and I have a healthy heart, and because I'm blessed with life, really. Yeah. And I feel so much gratitude. I feel a lot of gratitude. But really what I feel in this moment is actually I'm ready to do a yoga nidra nap. Now, yoga nidra is awesome. I'm not going to record this part, but yoga nidra is a body scan meditation that goes through each body part. Look on YouTube. I highly, highly recommend anybody who wants some deep rest to do yoga nidra. They have 20-minute ones on YouTube, and they're super potent at being like a deep nervous system reset and just like deeply relaxing you. And when you wake up, it could feel like you slept the whole night, honestly. That's how rejuvenating it could be. But it's not always putting people to sleep. Sometimes it's actually just, you know, really scanning your body and feeling every sensation in your whole body. And we all know, I mean, most people or whatever, as they say, when you go so deeply into the form, if we go deeply into the form, it opens up to experiencing the formless. And that's kind of what I feel yoga nidra is. It's going deeply into the form, being present in the form, while also having this experience of everything opening up to the formless. So that's what I feel like doing now. But yeah, when it comes to that feeling practice, it's just like good to take time maybe throughout the day just to like stop and pause and check in with yourself. What am I feeling? I feel anxious because, and then maybe you share why, and then maybe you check in again. What am I feeling? Oh, I feel, and just to like, it's just a self-connection thing. It's not about making it a big deal or needing to fix anything. You don't need to change what you feel. You're just speaking and sharing what you're feeling in the moment. And that's all. So I invite you to do that for yourself if it's not something you're already doing. Yeah. I feel like that was a lot of words. It was just the right amount of words. Not too much, not too little. But now it is time. Oh, because what time is it actually? Oh yeah, it's 12:30. This is the perfect time to do a yoga nidra. Midday, when I've already been awake for a long time. Just that medicine of getting horizontal is also so nice. So to close this up, I want to say feelings are a doorway to the love that you've always longed for. Fully feeling your feelings and accepting them and being open to them, being willing to breathe with them and sit with them and acknowledge them, having compassion for them, that is the doorway, the direct doorway to the love that you've always longed for. Fully feeling your feelings will open the door to a love that is greater than any love you could ever receive from this world, from any man, any woman. To fully feel your feelings will open up to the infinite ocean of love that is you. And you may very well sink and dissolve and be completely consumed by this ocean of love and find yourself feeling, I don't know who I am anymore, but it's more peaceful than I've ever felt in my entire life. I might not fully know who I am anymore because I'm no longer that one that was holding on to all these stories and all these things, because I fully felt, and by fully feeling, a lot of it gets released, a lot of it dissolves, a lot of it just reveals that it was all translucent and it was not really tangible and something you could hold. It was just an energy that needed to be loved and needed to feel that it gets to exist and live as well. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about. So thank you. I'm so sore. I need to hit myself. Oh, God. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my talk on this theme of feeling. And my journey with it. Yeah, my story is like, shit, I used to not want to feel at all. I used to try to run away from my feeling in every way possible. I had so many addictions. Alcohol, drugs, sex, food, TV shows. All these addictions, right? All to avoid feeling. But what happened? It all became stagnant, boring, sad, depressed. It doesn't help. So fully feeling helps, and letting ourselves be fully alive and fully embodied and expressed. And there's a lot of embodiment practices that we can do when it comes to feelings. For example, anger can be moved in really healthy, powerful ways. Sadness too. All these energies can be moved in healthy, nourishing, empowering ways. I love supporting people with this. And I love being on this journey and on this path myself. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you. I'm going to finish with 3 breaths together with a sound on the exhale. Whatever sound feels good. If you're watching with me, do this with me. We're going to do 3 breaths and exhale with whatever sound feels amazing to you. Okay. Let's see. Okay. 3 breaths. Exhale out all the air. Inhale. Another inhale. Really feel the vibration of your own sound on this last one. Feel the vibrating sensations of your own sound. So inhale deeply. Letting the sounds open you, feeling the sounds open you. Feel the opening in your being as you make sounds and hum on the exhale. Humming and toning is a great way to soothe and calm your nervous system. It's a great way to support yourself if you're feeling a lot and feeling overwhelmed. Humming and toning.